Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has appointed Canada's new Immigration Minister. We will tell you more about this big announcement only on My Consultant show, where we give you latest Canada immigration updates. We are starting today's episode with special measures announced to support people who are affected by flooding in Nova Scotia, followed by Canada welcoming more Afghans and the appointment of Canada's new Immigration Minister. Next, I will discuss how Provincial Nominee Program, that is PNP, has shaped Canadian immigration system, and Tashina will disclose new credit arrangements offered to immigrants in Canada. This episode of My Consultant is brought to you by Scotiabank.
As the province of Nova Scotia battles severe flooding, the Government of Canada has stepped in with new measures. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, the IRCC, will issue free replacement documents for Canadians, permanent residents and temporary residents who have been directly affected by the floods. Free of charge, international students, temporary foreign workers and other visitors who have been directly affected by the flooding and whose status will expire by November 30th, 2023, will be eligible to apply to restore or extend their status in Canada. Temporary workers who are unable to work because their workplace is closed due to the floods will be able to extend their status and stay in the country until their workplace reopens. Additionally, international students will be able to extend their study permits if their classes have been delayed or canceled, allowing them to complete their studies without penalties. These special measures will be in effect until November 30th, 2023.
The Government of Canada has marked another milestone by welcoming over 35,000 Afghans in the country. After the Taliban gained control in Afghanistan in August 2021, Canada promised to resettle at least 40,000 Afghans by the end of 2023 through its several special programs. Afghans have been welcomed in more than 170 communities across Canada so far.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has just appointed a new minister of the IRCC, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. As part of a wide-ranging reshuffle, former Minister of Indigenous Services Mark Miller is now Canada's new Immigration Minister, replacing Sean Fraser. The Minister of the IRCC has the mandate to set immigration policies for the whole country. Although it is not clear yet the approach Minister Miller will take, Canada can still expect to welcome 1.45 million newcomers within the next 3 years, as this is a set mandate by the Canadian federal government. This is not the last we will see of former IRCC Minister Sean Fraser, as he has been appointed Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, overseeing the federal government's focus on the Canadian economy and housing. Cabinets are typically shuffled about every 2 years by the current Canadian Prime Minister.
A new study by Statistics Canada indicates that Canada's immigration system has been largely transformed by Provincial Nominee Program. Provincial Nominee Program, that is PNP, was introduced in all provinces except Quebec between 1998 and 2009. Its main goal was to increase the settlement of economic immigrants outside major Canadian cities and address the labor force needs in all cities and provinces. Each province and territory is responsible for the design and management of its PNP. There are several different streams to which applicants can apply, such as workers with job offers, workers without job offers, entrepreneur streams, and international student streams. Over the years, the number of programs within the PNP has continuously expanded. resulting in 68,000 provincial nominees in Canada in 2019. That year, the PNP was the largest selection program for economic immigrants, accounting for 35% of all new immigrants in Canada, up from 1% in 2000. In 2019, 70% of provincial nominees originated from 3 regions in Asia: Southern Asia, Eastern Asia, and Southeast Asia. The characteristics of provincial nominees have changed significantly since the program's inception. Provincial nominees now tend to be younger, have higher levels of education, and are more likely to be principal applicants rather than spouses or dependents, compared with earlier provincial nominees. These changes would tend to improve economic outcomes. Provincial nominees are more likely to intend to work in skilled and technical occupations and less likely to be professionals, compared with immigrants in the Federal Skilled Worker Program, that is FSWP. The shift from the FSWP to PNP, along with other changes, has resulted in a significant shift in intended occupations among new economic immigrants. In 2019, there were almost as many skilled and technical new immigrants as professionals. This was a significant change from 2005, when professionals dominated. In 2025, IRCC plans to welcome 117,500 permanent residents through the PNP.
MyConsultant sponsor, Scotiabank, a leading Canadian financial institution, has just announced a new partnership with Nova Credit in order to better serve Canada's newcomers. By partnering with Nova Credit, a cross-border credit bureau and the only one of its kind to operate in Canada, Scotiabank will be the first Canadian-based bank to offer new-to-the-country customers the ability to access their foreign credit history. In this agreement, immigrant Scotiabank customers will be able to use what is called a credit passport. This enables lenders to access the creditworthiness of newcomers to issue credit products like credit cards and loans. This service will make it easier for newcomers to establish a credit history in their new country, allowing them the opportunity to access funds with lower lending rates, higher credit card limits, and better mortgage terms. This drastically removes some of the barriers newcomers face when trying to open a bank, rent or buy a home, buy a vehicle, and much more. By accessing overseas credit histories, a financial institution like Scotiabank can gain an understanding of the financial behavior of borrowers, repayment patterns, and creditworthiness, even when limited documents are available. Nova Credit CEO shares, credit passports unlock cross-border credit bureau data to help consumers overcome these challenges and enable lenders to overwrite new-to-country consumers. According to CEO, Nova Credit can access the credit history of immigrants worldwide. The program will first launch in the Greater Toronto region with the intent of expansion. That is all for this week's episode of My Consultant. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to click the bell icon to subscribe to get notified for our latest episodes and posts. For more information on the topics covered in this week's episode, please visit MyConsultant.ca, where you can contact an authorized immigration and citizenship consultant. I'm Tashina Thompson.
I am Tina Batra, and we'll see you next week.